Alora Nanos, former prosecutor, my heart goes out to the mother of this woman gunned down.
Absolutely.
But by implying that it could have been a mistake, is Oscar's insisting that it was a mistake. Doesn't that sabotage and undercut prosecutors who are doing their best to prove this was cold-blooded murder?
Truthfully, I really don't think so. I don't think it matters what the mother says. I don't think it matters what the witnesses say. I think Pistorius' story is ridiculous, and we don't even have a jury here that maybe we could distract with some other things. What we have is a judge who's going to listen to the evidence and know that there is no way that someone shooting through a door to a victim is ever going to result in a fair acquittal.
I respectfully disagree with you 100%. It's precisely because we have a judge deciding this case. A judge who's not sequestered like a jury might be. A judge who can read and see anything from her laptop. That when the victim's own mother says something like that, you got to wonder, well, maybe she should succumb to the intense political pressure since he's a national idol and icon to let him off the hook.
I don't think the judge is going to do that.
No, there's more pressure the other way.
I agree.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Oh, you think so? You think
I do.
That
I
the
think
lead,
because
the lead
so many women
was thrown
I think
off
because
the
so
case.
many. No, first of all, the judge isn't going to give in to pressure. I mean, that's shortchanging the judge and her experience and her skills. But secondly, I believe there's more pressure the other way. So many women are getting murdered in South Africa. I think there's probably tremendous pressure to actually convict in this case.
Well, there should be
Jane,
only pressure to convict. Okay,
Jane.
go ahead. Let's go around the room. Riva.
Jane, the mother's statement, she's just trying to find some peace with respect to her daughter's death. She is in no way suggesting that Oscar is not guilty of intentionally murdering her daughter. I mean, we have to look at the facts here. If your spouse, your partner gets up from the middle of the night from the bed, they're either in the kitchen getting water or they're in the restroom. So for this guy to come guns ablaze, shooting 4 or 5 times into that bathroom, and then to claim that somehow he didn't know she was in there is just a preposterous argument, and the judge is going to see right through it, and I think we're going to get a conviction in this case.
Oh, well, you know what? Let me say something. David Atunga, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, we say, oh, it's an open and shut case. That's what we said about Casey Anthony. That's what we said about George Zimmerman. That's what we said about Michael Dunn. The list goes on and on and on. We know that political pressure can be brought. I'm not saying, listen, I admire this judge. She's done a great job so far. What I am saying is people have said things like nobody knew where South Africa was on a map till Oscar Pistorius, that he is an idol there. So that he's been arrested for other things, and they dropped the charges because the cops were interested in taking photos with him at the station house.
Jane,
David.
can I jump
Jane,
in?
you have to understand
No,
that
David.
over there, Oscar Pistorius is pretty much their O.J. Simpson. Like, this is their trial of the century. He's so famous over there, you never know how all that's going to play together. And one thing to bring up, too, is it is just one judge. It's not a jury. So this is one person's opinion. And it's interesting to see the different pressures, like you mentioned earlier, on both sides. You never know how that's going to play out. But his story is just preposterous. I mean, it really is. Says he's in bed with his girlfriend. He gets up, thinks there's a burglar, goes to the bathroom, and this person is locked in the bathroom. Let's say it was a burglar. Who do you know who would break into your home, lock themselves in your bathroom? What were they planning to steal, toilet paper? It's completely ridiculous.
Yeah. And what about the idea of saying, who is there? And then she goes, darling, it's me. No. One of the witnesses on the stand today can see part of Oscar's house from her balcony. And here's what she said about the night of the shooting, and then we're going to go live to South Africa.
I heard sound. It seems like somebody was involved in a fight, and these people are talking in loud voices, my lady. It lasted for about an hour. I placed a pillow on top of my head around about 3 o'clock in the morning. I heard 4 gunshots, my lady.
Jen Sue, TV and radio presenter, joining us live from Johannesburg, South Africa. And we very much appreciate you staying up so late. I think it's like 2 in the morning there to join us. I know you know everybody involved in this case. You have to be careful about what you say. You live in South Africa. But let me ask you about this idea that a lot of us in America look at this and say, wait a second, you just heard a witness saying they were arguing for an hour before the gunshots went off. They were having an argument. It totally destroys his claim that he thought his girlfriend was asleep if they were having an argument for an hour beforehand.
I mean, look, we have just started with the witnesses. The prosecution has brought some of them in. We have another 105 witnesses to go. I think it's very hard to still prejudge at this point. The first witness, Michelle Berger, she was amazing on the stand. She really held her resolve under cross-examination by Barry Rue, but still, she lives more than a football field away. There's still, you know, things that we have to really check. We haven't looked at the blood spatter test. We haven't looked at the forensics. We haven't really looked at a lot of the evidence, the cell phone records that need to be presented in court. So I think it's very hard to jump into conclusions. When people say it's absolutely preposterous that there could be a house break-in, I'm telling you, in South Africa, it is a concern. People have panic buttons. They have infrared sensors. Myself, I have a burglar alarm system throughout my whole house. I live on a secure estate, as secure as Oscar Pistorius's. Celebrities have told me they've had break-ins where they go blank. When there's someone in their house, an intruder that comes in, they don't know what to do. They have a temporary moment of insanity and things happen. I'm not saying that shooting your girlfriend dead is the right thing, but there are these possibilities that could have happened. There could have been an accident. Of course, we need to really stop prejudging and look at what is going to happen in the days to come. Now, I do think that what Reva's mother had said, June Steenkamp, in this recent interview on NBC was very compelling. The fact that she can say, I can forgive him because I don't want this bitterness in my life, I think that is an unbelievable statement that she has made. And Judge Placebo will certainly be hearing that before she goes into trial tomorrow. It still will not stop her from objectively looking at the evidence, but I think that it will be something that she is going to look at the back of her mind.
Of course it is.